Time now for the gloating portion of the show. The best team in the country and eventual back-to-back champions, the UConn Huskies, rattled off a 30-0 run to start the second half and sent the Illini home. UConn back to the Final Four. In this tournament, Brew, UConn has trailed for less than 30 seconds. Also, now have the longest tournament streak of 10-point wins in tournament history. Brew, can anyone beat the mighty UConn Huskies?
Yes. Yes.
Themselves?
No. I mean, look, they're the best team in the nation. If these were 7-game series, they would clearly win. But in a one and done, and fortunately they have a coach who will not let them relax. And that's good. That's why they're so great. Danny Hurley, he won't let them relax. So that's a positive. But guys, I'm older than you. If you didn't know, I'm older than you guys.
Oh, everyone knows.
I have seen teams look this dominant and not win.
Who?
Phi Slamma Jamma with Akeem Olajuwon that lost to NC State.
Right.
Patrick Ewing's Georgetown teams that lost to Villanova. I mean, this is like a scary position to be in because a lot UNLV when they lost to Duke. A lot of times when teams just roll through, they can lose one game.
So all right, so a couple points.
And I'm not saying they will, but yes, they could.
The reason I said who was because, to Wilds' point, we've never seen this. We've never seen a team win this many tournament games in a row, all in blowout fashion.
Right.
NC State, in which I know we'll get to, is obviously a unique one because they were a huge underdog and because the NC State underdog now exists 41 years later in this tournament. But the UNLV team that lost to Duke, that Duke team was a fellow juggernaut. You know what I mean? But it wasn't
close to. I mean, it looked like that the UNLV had dusted them the year before.
I understand, but
Larry Johnson.
I get. My point is, with respect to Purdue, I don't look at this Purdue team as a juggernaut. I think they're a really good team, and so Fab Five team lost to a great team, and it lost in heartbreaking fashion. Obviously, Brew, you know this pains me.
Here we go. Wilds was happens about once a month, everybody. It's like the eclipse. Get ready for this. Put your sunglasses on if you got them at home. Get ready.
Wilds was right
there
all
we
along.
Go. Thank you.
Wilds was right all. You're not gonna. Wilds, since we were doing like the preseason tournament promos on this show, not preseason, but before conference tournament season games, he was calling the Huskies the future back-to-back champs. And they did just have, Brew, a 30-0 run against a team that entered the tournament ranked 10th in the country.
Can I make you feel... If you want to change.
I picked UConn. I'm not saying they're going to get beat. I'm just saying
I understand
it's not an impossibility.
Teams can get hot. You can ebb and flow. They just had their bad game. I think the first half, the starters outside of Klingon were like 1 for 17. But the defense never goes away. Last year's defense won the national championship. This year's defense has gotten even better. So 53 points per game. Field goal percentage is down. Opponents' threes way down. So the idea that you're going to get an open look and maybe get hot, that's not happening. I mean, 4.5 threes a game.
I mean, they do have it all. They've got experience. They've got size with Klingon. And you guys know, you always hear me talk about 5-man basketball. That's what they play. Everybody's moving. The ball is moving. I like it. They were my pick. I'm just saying, if
Brew's
it
big on
could
any
happen,
given Sunday.
Any given Sunday, Saturday, Tuesday, whatever it is, Monday night.
Number 11, North Carolina State takes down Duke to get to the Final Four. DJ Burns goes for 29 points in the win. Nick, how impressive has their run been?
All right. I don't want to be hyperbolic, but this is one of the wildest runs in college basketball history. This team lost twice to Syracuse. I watched one of those games in full. Syracuse, not very good. Syracuse beat them twice before the ACC tournament. This team, it's not just that they had to win all 5 ACC tournament games to get here, and now obviously this. So 9 straight games that they had to win or they would be out. 7 of those 9, they were underdogs. So they have been underdogs in 7 of their last 9, including 4 times by at least 8 points, twice by double digits. And, I mean, they just rolled Duke. 6 must-win games ago, they're in this circumstance. Down, we can show it to you. Down 3, 2 seconds left, or 5 seconds left, with Virginia at the line. They miss a free throw. This terrible shot clangs in accidentally, and now all of a sudden, they're in the Final Four.
Pretty good.
And so it is similar. Listen, Jimmy V's team, they won the ACC tournament, and they went on their crazy run for NC State 41 years ago. But this is more improbable. This is
Really, you think?
Well, they finished it, but that became so improbable.
They only had 3 at that time. It took 3 games to win the ACC.
Right, and that team was better in the regular season. This team finished 9th in the ACC.
Well, here's what's interesting, and obviously the comparison to Valvano everybody's making, and it's appropriate.
Yeah.
All right. Neither team, Valvano's in '83 that went on to win the championship over Olajuwon and Drexler, and this team, neither one of them was going to make the tournament if they didn't win the ACC tournament. Yep. Both of them had 17 wins when they went into the ACC tournament.
Yep.
So they played more. They were 17-10 in '83, 17-14 this year. They've beaten the 2nd seed Marquette, 4th seed Duke twice in this 9-game stretch, and number 1 seed North Carolina, obviously, twice. All right, or beat, not twice, but beat them. And so it's incredibly impressive. And this is what I'm talking about. Strange things happen in March, Wilds. Okay. Strange things.
All right, I have two notes. One, the last 5 11 seeds to make the Final Four lose this game. No one's made it to the Final 2. So I know strange things happen, but eventually 11 seeds turn into a pumpkin.
Typically, those are mid-major teams, though, to be fair.
Right,
no, UCLA was 11, LSU.
Was Syracuse in 11 when we made it?
No, I think we were
10?
8.
And we were in 8 when we made it in
losses.
2010, but in 2016, I think we were.
No team with 14 losses that ever made the Final Four.
Yeah, because you have to win your conference tournament if you have 14 losses.
I'm trying to be nice, but they're probably going to lose.
I hope.
They were at 10? What a pull by Wilds. Peter Schrager, I think I said 8, though.
You said, yeah, that's terrible.
A lot of times if you just are confident. Spoke to and texted multiple scouts, GMs about NC State big man DJ Burns as an NFL offensive tackle prospect or last 24 hours. He's listed at 6'9", probably 6'7". Brew, do you like this?
I do. And I actually think watching him, his footwork is tremendous. He's obviously athletic. He's agile. He's strong. Now, the only question, I don't know if he played in high school. My guess would be that he did, as big as he is. But my only question is his toughness. I'm not saying he looks like he's not tough. I can't tell. I'm just saying, does he have the toughness to play football? If he does, I actually do think he could make the transition.
I think he has a better chance of the NFL than the NBA. And so if you know what I mean? He has great size for an NFL tackle if he puts on the weight. His size makes him a non-starter for the NBA at his position. And so if he wants to play pro sports in America, I think that's awesome. And I buy that. I think that's smart. I think that looking for guys like, hey, they check these boxes from trait standpoint as far as athleticism or just size, strength, and then see if we can teach them some of the other stuff. I think that's smart.
Right, so
we've seen it obviously with tight ends, more so with tight ends.
Save that thought because this drives me crazy here. What? Finally, Purdue over the Volunteers. Zach Edey dominant, 40 points, 16 rebounds. Brew, do you like him in the NBA?
I don't like him in the NBA, but let me give him some love. I'm winking at Dusty right now.
Okay.
Again, Dusty forced me to put up this graphic. It's impressive. I will give you that. Look at this. In the last 60 years, nobody has done what he's done in this tournament since Elvin Hayes in 1968.
Yeah. And by the way, that Bill Bradley game, I think, was the 3rd place game, which I don't think should count. I looked this up. Wow. Bradley scored 58. I'm like, he scored 58 in the championship that they won? I was like, no, it was 3rd place game. The other team probably didn't care.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
But
3rd place game.
When you're talking about bigs in the NBA, scouts, they look for 3 things. Can he defend block to block? Yeah. All right. Can he defensive rebound?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Can he guard the screen and roll? And that's obviously no. Now, there's others that can't. You know, Gobert's not awesome at it. He drops. But Gobert's more athletic than this guy, moves better. Look, I think he'll get drafted. If I were a team, I'd look at him as a 2nd rounder. He'd be on a roster. And he'll be a guy that sees a few minutes, but he's not going to be a regular player in the NBA, in my view.
Before I give my answer, what are you driven crazy by here, Wilds?
Nerds.
What do you mean?
Just the nerds are ruining everything.
Why?
It drives me crazy that I'm reading his draft profile, and it's like, well, can he defend the three? It's like, man, I'm 7'4". I got to defend threes. Hey, he's only taken 2 threes all year. He's playing winning basketball. They're, 35-4? He's scoring 40 points. He's the reigning National Player of the Year. He can't get to the next level and play NBA basketball. Meanwhile, the Chiefs are drafting rugby guys. I'm like, yeah, that'll work.
We just talked about it.
It just drives me nuts that
but here's the thing,
a great college basketball player can't play.
I'm going to give you a name. Luke Garza. Just a few years ago at Iowa, Luke Garza, who's 6'11", Naismith Player of the Year, Wooden Player of the Year, and he's on a team. He got drafted in the second round by Detroit. He's sitting on the bench in Minnesota. That's what Zach Edey will do.
Okay.
The best players his age are in the NBA.
You don't even have to give Luke Garza. Kevin Pittsnoggle. You cry tears for that guy. What about Jimmer?
He was not as good as Zach Edey.
Jimmer wasn't?
No,
No.
And Pittsnoggle.
No, but Pittsnoggle was not quite as good. But
Jimmer can't play defense.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Listen. You said it. You said it exactly.
Put him on the Warriors.
Hold on. Wait a second. First of all, just so you know, Kevin O'Connor said that he thought his fit on the Thunder could be interesting because Chet can take care of
the Thunder?
Because Chet could take care of a lot of the defensive stuff.
I like that.
Gavoni now just recently said he could be a late lottery pick, which seems high for me. Now, with all that said, there is such a thing as being a great college player that does not guarantee you are a great pro player. Here's what he does deserve massive credit for. There's a record that has stood for basically my entire life, and that is most points in the NCAA tournament. Do you guys know who holds it? One of the greatest video game players ever, Glenn Rice from NBA Jam. 182. Edey's at 120, or 184, pardon me. So he's averaging 30 a game. If he, 180 times 6, or 30 times 6 would be 180. So if he has 65 points, 32 and a half, in the next 2 games, he breaks Glenn Rice's record.
Cool.
Maybe you can win the title. Like you said, he can be a legendary all-time college basketball player and still be a guy that's going to have a hard time finding a spot in the NFL, or in the NBA, pardon me.
Yeah, actually easier in the NFL.
He'll be on the roster. He'll be on the roster.
And it sounds like he'll be a first-round pick.
Okay.
Should be late.
That's not the thing to blame nerds for. Here we go. Wild, still gun shy. I told you guys, the internet.
You can't do it no left.
There you go.
You got no left?
No left. I'm out here like Jaylen Brown.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.